Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Thursday morning. Good morning to all of you. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show right here, RiverBender.com, Roku TV, anywhere, everywhere you get that podcast. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with me. Hell, I feel like I've already ran a marathon this morning. Hold on here. Let me fill you in. My hair's all sticking up, and is it bad? Oh, let's see. Sorry, my hair was sticking up and it was giving me some problems. But today, Brian Trust's show starts at 2 p.m. I'm excited to have Brian here. It's something that John and I, whenever I came over here and the show started to get going around November of 2022, I figured, there could be a chance to add more and really create something cool. And I think we're on the right track. And Brian's going to come in and do the You're Beautiful show 2 to 3 o'clock today. And you'll see me in the afternoon because I'll be his first guest. And then kind of let him take it from there after a half hour, and he's going to have another guest and really do some good stuff today. Really glad to have you on the team, Brian, and visibility is for 24 miles. That's what literally it says on our weather desk. Today, coming up on the show, we had to move some things around. We're going to be talking to Wood River Main Street next Tuesday. We're going to be talking to Quig Sports Emporium here at 10 o'clock. They're a brand new business in Wood River, and we're going to get the latest on all of what they've got coming down the pipeline. Then we aren't going to talk to Lee at 9:20. We're going to talk to her at 10:30 because we had to move some things around here at the office today, too. So we're rolling. At 9:02, here's what's happening around the River Bend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update, and you'll never miss out. You can join myself and beep, boop, beep, 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the River Bend. And I know you get tired of me saying this, but text RB to 618-202-4618. That's RB to 618-202-4618 to sign up for those breaking news alerts, weather alerts, closings, cancellations, sports scores, updates, right there on your phone through the SMS notification alerts. Taking you to top of the hour news now on this Thursday. And we'll take you to Bethalto first. Drew Abernathy, an 18-year-old 2024 graduate of Civic Memorial High School, tragically lost his life in a single-vehicle accident on June the 2nd at the intersection of East Airline Drive and Bucha Road. Friends and family gathered at the crash site to honor him. Drew, a Bethalto resident, worked at Castelli's Moonlight and was a member of Connect Church. He was known for his vibrant personality and athleticism in football, track, and baseball. He deeply loved his family and friends, and visitation is scheduled for the 9th of June, with services on June the 10th at Cornerstone Church, followed by burial at Rose Lawn Memorial Gardens, and RiverBender.com extends their condolences to the family and loved ones as well. Also in the news today, in Granite City, Chocolate Covered Creations Cafe is located at 3214 Namioki Road and is not your typical restaurant. This anime-themed cafe offers a variety of pastries, boba tea, coffee, and more, all within a cozy, art-filled environment that's designed for anime enthusiasts. Owner Brianna McGill, an ardent anime fan, aim to create a safe and welcoming space for the community. The cafe's head cashier, Jalen Ortiz, highlighted the exclusive atmosphere where patrons can feel at home and express themselves. McGill envisions expanding her business significantly with plans to open multiple locations in the coming years. For more information, you can visit Chocolate Covered Creations on Facebook. Also, You can have some fun this weekend and discover an array of events happening throughout the Riverbend. I'm a part of the weekly event article, and we're going to highlight the grand opening of Village Dispensary in Godfrey, June the 8th, where you can enjoy exclusive promotions and even a raffle for a 420 friendly Airbnb stay. I'll be on hand at Village Dispensary on Saturday as we do a live show, and then I'll be packing on up and heading on over to Lewis and Clark on Saturday to be a part of the SSP Gala, but you can join us for that broadcast. Then, also this weekend, the Trinity River Festival is returning to Campsville on the 7th of June. It features performances by over 25 bands and activities for families. And don't forget that at Raging Rivers Water Park in Grafton, they host Storm the Beach, a patriotic fundraiser with live music and a mermaid photo op opportunity. Don't miss the Princess and Company Cabaret Concert also. This is at Alton Little Theater. Going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk to Lee about this in just about an hour. And then the staple event of the region for the summer, there's no doubt about it. I don't want to hear about anything else. It's the Two River Family Fishing Fair. Such a great event. 35 years in the making. It takes place at Pier Marquette, and RiverBender.com will be on hand. Blackburn College recently celebrated its latest cohort of graduates, including brothers Dylan and Dawson Clunk from East Alton. These Roxana High School alumni received bachelor's degree in sports management during their commencement ceremony on May the 11th. The event, held at the college campus, marked a significant milestone for the graduates and their families. The Clunk brothers shared educational journey educational journey. It culminated in this achievement, highlighting the dedication and hard work over the past 4 years. As sports management majors, they're now prepared for careers in competitive field of sports administration and management. Congratulations. In Madison County, the Historical Society's June Speaker Series is going to take place on June the 9th at 2 p.m. in the Main Street Community Center in Edwardsville. Here's what we know. Historian Stacy Lynn will present Loving Lincoln, Stories About Women and Abraham Lincoln. Lynn, who has written extensively on President Lincoln and women's history, will share stories from her forthcoming book scheduled for publication in January of 2025. The book explores the women in Lincoln's life and Lynn's personal experiences editing Lincoln's papers. The event is free and open to the public, followed by a discussion session. We hope you can make it. We won't have time for top-of-the-hour news during the 10 o'clock hour, so we're going to keep going today if that's okay. At St. Anthony's Health Center, it unveiled the new image-guided therapy system, the Azurion 7 from Philips. It enhances its ability to perform high-risk procedures with state-of-the-art 3D imaging. Keely Nielsen, the Director of Critical Care Services, highlighted this upgrade, and it includes a top-tier cath lab table and other equipment, bringing advanced cardiac care closer to the Riverbend community. Over the past year, the center operated from a mobile unit during the installation and staff training process. With this new technology, St. Anthony's now matches the equipment standards of major St. Louis hospitals, allowing patients to receive superior care right here locally. At SIUE, Chancellor James T. Minor, a PhD, conferred Doctor of Dental Medicine degrees to 55 graduates from SIU School of Dental Medicine on June the 1st at the First Community Arena. My apologies, there's a little bit of some jumble in that sentence. The class of 2024 faced that pandemic head-on at the start, and a flood emergency in their final semester was praised for their resilience and education excellence in clinical and board exams. Chancellor Minor emphasized the critical need for dental professionals in Illinois, while keynote speaker Ann Boyle encouraged graduates to be grateful, passionate, and generous. Graduates were hooded by loved ones, and student speaker Joshua Coiner highlighted their unity and dedication to patient advocacy. Congratulations to all the dental students. Revity Credit Union has donated $1,255 to Moms on a Mission through the Revel for a Cause Jeans program. The employee-funded initiative allows Revity Credit Union employees to support local organizations by making monthly donations. In return, employees can wear jeans and tennis shoes on Fridays and Saturdays. The program embodies the credit union philosophy of people helping people and focuses on assisting local communities. During May, the funds went to Moms on a Mission, a Dupo, Illinois-based nonprofit nonprofit serving unhoused individuals, foster children, veterans, and more. For more information, visit revitycu.com or the Moms on a Mission Facebook page. Heart disease remains a critical health issue in the United States with 695,000 annual deaths. To combat this, OSF St. Anthony's Health Center in Alton has expanded its cardiology team by welcoming 6 new cardiologists through its strategic affiliation with SLU Care Physician Group, part of SSM Health in St. Louis. The collaboration, it ensures that residents have access to advanced and innovative cardiac care close to home. The new team includes experts in intravenous cardiology and cardiovascular disease, and it offers cutting-edge treatments and procedures. Leaders from both OSF and SSM emphasize their commitment to providing that high-quality care for the Riverbend community. Finally, in news today, Lewis and Clark Community College has announced that the President's Dean list for the spring semester 2024 was released. Students who achieved the cumulative GPA of 3.75 or higher were named to the president's list, while those with GPAs between 3.25 and 3.74 earned a spot on the dean's list. The list includes students from various towns around the Riverbend, and the full requirements for these honors can be found in the college's online catalog, and plus you can see the full list of the honor students right there on RiverBender.com and on the Lewis and Clark website. At 9:12, it's 77 degrees outside. It's 157 in my studio this morning. That's true. Temperatures do reach 83 degrees today. They'll drop down to 58 overnight. Wow. On Friday, a high of 84, a low of 63, and I did lie to you guys. On Saturday, they did just give us an update. We have a 95% chance of rain hitting the area. No thunderstorms, just a downpour. A high of 79 on Saturday, a low of 61, and a 95% chance that we are going to get some rain. On Sunday, the 9th, a high of 80, a low of 57, and on Monday, the 10th, no rain in the forecast as we start the week. A high of 75, a low of 50. Today, right now, as it sits, air quality is good, grass is at moderate levels, mold's low, trees at moderate levels, and the UV index is marked as extreme, so put on some SPF 50 before you're going outside to do that yard work. Today, it will be mostly sunny and breezy with low humidity. And tonight, clear. Humidity right now is at 56%. Visibility is for 26 miles, Brian Trust. Right now it's 77 degrees. It feels like 81. And for time and temperature throughout the day, you can always give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home, or return to the Liberty Village Villas, the brand new state-of-the-art villas that are just beautiful. You can find that final spot for the Book of Life and then sit there and you have everything taken care of, from lawn maintenance to the workout opportunities to the shuttle services. The villas are going to take care of you with state-of-the-art living that you deserve. You can call 618-946-7336 to find out more about the Liberty Village Villas and about Bounce Back. Before we take a quick break and look at SkyCam, let me fill you in on the summer reading events that Hainer Library's got in store for all of us. Read, renew, repeat. That's what they want you to do this summer. Kids Space and Teen Space for their summer reading programs. On Mondays, recycled art at 10 a.m. for ages 2 to 6 for the Kids Space. On Tuesdays, at the Nature Institute from 12 to 2. Ages 6 to 12 go on June the 18th. Ages 3 to 10 on June the 11th and 25th. And Wednesdays, a new performer each week at 10 a.m. for all ages in that Kids Space at the library. Plus, on Thursdays, endangered animal scavenger hunt all day, all ages. And on Saturdays for kids, come play and stay from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. for ages 5 through 12. A great opportunity for your child to get out and do something a little different this summer. Plus, with the reading program, you can keep their mind moving so they're prepared whenever August rolls around the corner here tomorrow, because you know how fast this summer flies on by. Now, if you're a teenager out there and you want something to do, I get it. Mondays, a new craft each Monday at 4 p.m. Then Tuesdays at T&I from 12 to 2, June the 18th. Plus, on Wednesdays, that new craft each week. Then the teen party, the big one, Tuesday, July the 2nd. You're invited. Go have some fun. On July the 2nd from 4 to 6 p.m., you can go and be a part of the Teen Party. Endangered animal mini golf, and henna tattoos available too. Events will be held at Hainer Library's Alton Square Mall location, unless otherwise noted, as I just read. You can visit HainerLibrary.org for more information. That's HainerLibrary.org, and also get your library card so you can unlock even more potential with your local library. Before we take a quick break, it's always great to see Skycam. We'll take a look at downtown Alton, and our daily show continues right after this.
Show was in the lost and found. You came along.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
DJ Mike Keith. This is where I am today. Let me show you where I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
All righty, here we go. Welcome back, 918. We aren't looking at downtown Alton anymore. You're looking at me. I'm sorry you have to do that. Before we keep moving down the show, I do want to fill you in on what's coming down the pipeline this hour. And because of a little bit of rescheduling, today is D-Day, and we'll take a look back on this date in history here in a few moments. But about a couple weeks ago, one of my favorite guests that come on about once a year is Ann Montgomery, and I want to play that again because her book's out today. It's about the gravediggers of World War II, and that's something we never really talk about is, what happens when you have to clean up the battlefield. And her book really takes a deep dive into the mentality of the individuals that were involved in the Graves Registration Unit and all that they had to go through. So we're going to play that today. The book's on sale today, and you can get it after you hear the interview to see if you like it or not. It's called Your Forgotten Sons, but wanted to fill you in on what's coming down the 9 o'clock hour. That's what we'll do. Then 10 o'clock, we're talking to Quick Sports Emporium, and then we'll talk to Alton Little Theater as we kind of shuffled a little bit quicker today than we normally do. But on this date in history, although the term D-Day is used routinely as military lingo for the day an operation or event will take place, for many, it's synonymous with June the 6th, 1944, the day the Allied powers crossed the English Channel and landed in the beaches of Normandy, France, beginning the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi control during World War II. Within 3 months, the northern part of France would be freed, and the invasion force would be preparing to enter Germany, where they would meet up with the Soviet forces moving in from the east. With Hitler's armies in control of most of mainland Europe, the Allies knew that the successful invasion of the continent was central to winning this war. Hitler knew this too, and was expecting an assault on northwestern Europe in the spring of 1944. He hoped to repel the Allies from the coast with a strong counterattack that would delay future invasion attempts, giving him time to throw the majority of his forces into defeating the Soviet Union in the east. Once that was accomplished, he believed an all-out victory would soon be his. On the morning of June the 5th, 1944, U.S. General Dwight Eisenhower, the supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe, gave the go-ahead for Operation Overlord, the largest amphibious military operation in history. On his orders, 6,000 landing crafts, ships, and other vessels carrying 176,000 troops began to leave England for the trip to France. That night, 822 aircraft filled with parachutists headed for the drop zones in Normandy. An additional 13,000 aircraft were mobilized to provide air cover and support the invasion. By the dawn of June the 6th, 18,000 parachutists were already on the ground. The land operations began at 6:30 a.m. The British and Canadians overcame light opposition to capture Gold, Juno, and Sword beaches. So did the Americans at Utah. The task was much tougher at Omaha Beach. However, where 2,000 troops were lost, and it was only through the tenacity and quick-wittedness of troops on the ground that the objective was achieved. By the day's end, 155,000 Allied troops, American, British, and Canadians, had successfully stormed the beaches of Normandy, and that's what happened on this date in history. Also on this date in history, in the year 1775, Marinus Willett and a small group of the Sons of Liberty confronted British soldiers and seized 5 wagon loads of weapons as the Redcoats evacuated New York City. That happened on this date, 1775. Also on this date in 1933, eager motorists parked their automobiles on the grounds of Park-In Theaters, the first ever drive-in movie theater located at Crescent Boulevard in Camden, New Jersey. Also on this date in history, in Ellicott, Maryland, President Andrew Jackson boards a Baltimore and Ohio Railroad train for a pleasure trip to Baltimore, and Jackson, who had never been on a train before, was the first president to take the ride on the Iron Horse. And that's a look at what happened on this date in history, with this exception. Sunday nights, 8 p.m., CBS. Ask almost any American born in the late 50s or earlier what television program ran in that time slot on that network, and they'll probably know the answer. The Ed Sullivan Show, on this date in 1971, airs for the very last time. On this date in music, let's take a quick gander. In 2017, the site of the 1969 Woodstock Music Festival was officially recognized for its place in history when Governor Andrew Cuomo announced that Bethel Woods Center for the Arts had been placed on the National Register for Historic Places. Also on this date in music, in 1987, Whitney Houston was at #1 in the UK charts for the second time with I Wanna Dance With Somebody. It reached #1 in over a dozen other countries and won a Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance in 1988. In 1982, Tom Petty, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Bob Dylan, Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Nicks and Jackson Browne all appeared at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena to a crowd of 85,000 people. At the 6-hour Peace Sunday We Have a Dream anti-nuclear concert, Dylan was joined on stage with Joan Baez and duetted with her on Blowin' in the Wind and with God on Our Side. The show was partially broadcast on ABC's TV Entertainment Tonight program on the same day. Man, what a concert, though. In 1974, RCA released Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You, the second single from Parton's 13th solo studio album, Jolene. Recorded on June the 13th, 1973, the singer wrote the song for her one-time partner and mentor, Porter Wagner, from whom she was professionally splitting at the time. Couple of last ones for you. In 1969, Elton John released his debut album, Empty Sky, in the UK. It was released in January 1975 in the United States. Skyline Pigeon is the best-known song of the album and is the only one which John, albeit infrequently, performs as part of his live shows. The Rolling Stones released the iconic Satisfaction on this date in 1965 in the United States, which went on to give the band their first #1. And it was their first #1 in the UK. However, it was not released until August of 1966 in the UK. The song initially played on only pirate radio stations because its lyrics, well, at the time, were considered to be too sexually suggestive. Born on this date in history, anyone good? I don't think so. I think we're about out of here. There you go. That's what happened on this date in music. What a boring day, except for history. History-wise, we're good. But music, we got to step it up a little bit. At 9:26, before we take a quick break, I'll be at Village Dispensary this weekend where you can hang out with me and our broadcast. We're going to be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Saturday, and this is going to be really fun. Village Dispensary has just a lot of good people. And, whether you're, against the industry or whether you're for it, just realize that it's good people coming together just to celebrate Godfrey's Dispensary. And at Village Dispensary, they're locally owned and union built. And what I think is even better is the fact that they really have taken big interest in making sure our experience levels are the best they can be. Whether or not you're an experienced consumer or whether or not you're a newbie who is maybe just tired of staying up all night and you're just trying to find something to put you to bed, Village Dispensary is going to take care of you and make you feel like you're a superstar. And I mean that. And you know what I think's great is their consultation area. What I mean by that is if you don't know what you're looking for, if this is your first time going into a dispensary or even trying to ask questions, they have a consult area where one of their bud tenders will step out with you, take you to the side and just talk with you for a couple minutes, see your interest, what you're looking to do, and they'll help you from there. What I think's great, too, is for all of us that are kind of, experienced to this point, you want to get out of line. It's just like going to Casey's and putting gas on 6, and then you get that individual that bought 400 lottery tickets that are all losers, but he wants the cashier to scan every one of them. Yeah, not at Village Dispensary. You're in and out in a moment's notice. Plus, their specials are unbelievable. Each and every day, there's a brand new special where you can get some quality cannabis at a very, very affordable rate. I'll see you this Saturday at Village Dispensary, and for more information and to place an order, it's Village Dispo, RiverBender.com.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center. Hey, Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Man, it feels like Miami down here. Welcome to this Thursday morning, and we have some humidity in Illinois for the first time in a while. It feels like Florida.
Well, we don't have any because I live in the desert in Arizona, so we don't even understand what humidity means.
No, so. I've always wondered that, Ann. Is a dry heat still a heat? Because I've never been...
Oh, hell yes. I mean, last summer... We had, 53 or 56 days over 110.
That's right.
And 115 was more normal. We treat it like you treat winter. We don't go out. We don't go out in it. You know, the people that are out in the summer here are tourists because we just run to our cars. And when you put your seatbelt on, you get like second-degree burns.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's really, now we get used to it, we do, but it's like, I know in Illinois, I'm guessing you have darkness and cold and gray and yeah, so you get used to it. So,
and that's just summer. No, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Well, this is really cool. Last year, Ann, you were on and we had a really great conversation. And now this time around, we're talking Your Forgotten Sons. This is a really, really cool book and just the story on how this came together. Take it away, Senator. The floor is yours. How did this come about?
Yeah, all of my books so far to date have been about Arizona, places in Arizona, locations and different stories. But this was very different. A dear friend who I've known for 40 years, I met her when I worked for my first TV station in Columbus, Georgia. She called me and she said, I need you to come to Johns Hopkins Hospital because I have to have surgery. And I might be paralyzed from the waist down. Now, why did she call me? Her husband is a soldier who did 3 tours, Afghanistan, Iraq, and he cannot be in hospitals. There was a very bad situation where his men were dying in a hospital in Iraq, I think. And so he couldn't handle it. So she said, come be my healthcare power of attorney. I said, of course. So I flew to Baltimore, and the night before the surgery, she hands me this Ziploc bag of old letters. And she said, no matter what happens to me, I want you to promise that you will tell Bud's story. And because I wanted to make her feel better, I went, okay, of course, right. I'll do anything, right? And the bottom line is she had a tumor wrapped around her spine, and they removed it, and she walked out of the hospital, but I had made a promise.
Yep.
So Sergeant Bud Richardville was her uncle. Her mother was one of those people who had babies like 20 years apart.
Oh, okay.
He's actually her direct uncle, even though she's in her 60s, you know, so her mother was pretty old when she had her. And so she grew up with these pictures of this soldier on the wall at home that never came home from World War II. And turns out he worked when they inducted him. They put him in the Graves Registration Service. Do you know what that is?
I do not, actually.
It's part of the quartermasters, and the quartermasters are, of course, people that supply everything. Without them, there's no war. Mm-hmm. But the Graves Registration Service are the guys that locate, identify, and bury the dead.
Oh, wow.
Now, think about that job.
Yeah.
Think about it. Now, I was unable to get any of Bud's military records because in 1973, the military personnel records depository in St. Louis burned to the ground. 80% of all their records from, I think, 1912 to 1960 were destroyed. Mm-hmm. Bud's among them. So I had no physical records. So I'm like, how am I supposed to find out what happened to this man and where he was when I have no military records? Well, I started going by the dates on postmarks on the letters that she gave me. Some of these letters were to his mother, some were to his wife, brand new wife he just met a week before he left. Some were to his sister, and I had to follow where he was. By following those postmarks, I sensed he'd been in Normandy when he landed in Normandy. He was at the Battle of the Bulge. He was with Patton's Third Army in Czechoslovakia when they were trying to take that country back from the Nazis. So I followed those. I wasn't sure. until after the book went to press. I got a copy of his obituary that ran in a newspaper in Vincennes, Indiana, which is where he was from. And it proved that I was right.
Wow.
That he had been in all these places. And so his job, along with the men he served with, he hit the beaches at Normandy. Well, guess what? There are thousands of dead.
Yep.
And not just bodies, but pieces of bodies. And I will tell you now that this book is necessarily gruesome. It really is horrible. If you've ever seen the first 24 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, not Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
Where they hit the beach. It's like that. But now the camera pans away and their bodies are everywhere. Now they've got to be collected. They've got to be identified. We've got to do something with them. Not only because of the disease factor, but because you've got more men coming through there, and it's the morale factor. It's the idea that, what do you do when you got 18-year-old soldiers who are hitting the beaches going, crap, there are thousands of dead people here. So the graves registration guys had to immediately go in, and they dug temporary graves near the beach, and then they had to move them later and build cemeteries. And today there are, in 36 different countries, there are American cemeteries that were built by the Graves Registration Service. So that was Bud's job.
I couldn't.
And
I just couldn't, because we had the chance, I did, to go to Normandy or go into France and see all the flags there that are lined up in that memorial, and or not flags, the poppy flowers that are all down. It's so beautiful in France. But I couldn't imagine that, Ann. I mean, you're going and removing a fallen soldier that, like you said, it could be bits of somebody that's just,
a foot. And if you were at Normandy, Bud helped to build that cemetery, and the one in Luxembourg, and the one in Epinal. I mean, all of them were built by this Graves Registration Service. So you take he was a happy-go-lucky guy. He was a little bit of a womanizer. The women loved him. He was handsome and charming, and he had very little education. But he went to work he was a logger. So he went to work in the paper mills in Michigan, which were an essential military business.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't get drafted till he was 29. So because the military needed paper.
Makes sense. It makes total sense when you say that. Yep, because you can't.
My dad worked for Westinghouse. He didn't get drafted till a little later either, because he was working. It was an industry that was needed by the military. So by the time Bud was drafted, he was 29 years old, which made him like a different generation from the 17 and 18-year-olds that were in his unit. So you got these young boys, and they get thrown on the beaches, and they say, pick up all the parts, find the pieces, and identify them. Now, how do you do? Some of them, maybe they had a tattoo or a religious medal or a label in their clothing, but this is what these guys did every day.
Well, and did it, Ann, while there's fighting going on. I mean,
they were right behind the troops. And when one of Bud's letters, these guys were embarrassed to admit what they were doing. Many of them wanted out, and they couldn't get out. And they said, look, someone has to do this job. And the military said, this is your job. Go do it. And it was very difficult. They didn't tell their family members. Bud didn't tell his family members what he was doing, except for his brother-in-law, who was Regina's father.
Okay.
So he said, yes, I'm in the Graves unit. And one letter said, I'm not embarrassed. We're doing an important job. We even got an accommodation, which we figured was from the Battle of the Bulge. They're right there. The bullets are still flying in some cases.
Yeah.
And even worse than being in the battles are the situations where they have to go back a long time later. And how did honestly, there've been no movies, no books. When we talk about war, we see planes fall from the sky, we see guys shoot each other, and then the camera moves on and the carnage remains. So we never see that part.
Right.
It was very hard for me to find any research on this until I found a book called Crosses in the Wind. And it was written by a man who was in the Graves Registration Service, a man who became a Lieutenant Colonel Shulman. And he wrote 2 years after the war what that was like, and wrote specific instances where these men worked. And I took some of his descriptions and gave them to Bud, because quite honestly, this is a book inspired by a true story.
Right.
Based on a true story would mean that everything is true. Every conversation is true. Every character is true. But I couldn't do that. I didn't know who his friends were. I didn't know exactly where he was. So I took Shulman's information, and I put Bud in some of those situations. And the most harrowing one was a couple of weeks after Normandy. They sent these guys back to the beach, and you know what a Higgins boat is? It's the boat that drops down and all the guys run. Yeah. One of those boats had been hit with a shell, and it flipped, and there were men in it. Now this is like a couple weeks later, and they're underwater.
Oh no!
They're under now. We're talking no scuba tanks, no nothing. These guys, they said, okay, go down and get the bodies. Go down in the water. They've been down there a while, and bring up what's left. And that's what they did.
Well, and who knows, you know, I mean, I hate to sound morbid, but after a couple of weeks of floating in water, I mean, your body's already breaking down, and who knows what's there to, I mean, no telling what's going to happen when you go in that water.
Right. And the men had to be very careful because there was metal, there could be unexploded ordnance, that kind of thing. But they couldn't say, no, we're not going to do it.
Right.
Well, and so they had to go in, and that was one of the most harrowing things. And then on top of that, they had to liberate the death camp. And once the death camps were liberated, somebody had to clean it up. These were the guys. You could see in his letters how he disintegrated over this time.
Yeah, and that's what, I mean, to me, there's no more crucial job, because the way you described it, I mean, you're right. You have to be there to bury those individuals, those fallen soldiers, because just the morale thing alone, you know, you're storming the beaches and you're seeing bodies just piling up. I mean, you aren't running in the foxhole anymore. You're thinking it's over, you know, and not just that, but I mean, just the fact that for him to look at a soldier in the face knowing there's a good chance that I'm going to be picking you up without you looking back at me is really powerful. Yeah. I mean, really.
The sad thing, well, there were a lot of sad things, clearly, but it wasn't just Allied soldiers. They had to pick up everybody. So they often, they had to get all the German soldiers too. You can't have any bodies because there can be disease happens. And again, the morale issue. So it was a horrible job. And there was one scene that broke my heart, and it was where the men in the graves registration units had trucks full of bodies that they were moving to a cemetery, and there were a group of American soldiers marching down the road that they were on. And when the soldiers saw them, they turned their backs on them. They just turned and wouldn't look at them, like they weren't doing an important job. And what I've learned is that these guys have never gotten any recognition. No one ever said good for you or patted them on the back. And I think it's heartbreaking, because you cannot tell me that these men who came home didn't come home with deep invisible wounds that no one ever allowed them to talk about.
Well, and I couldn't imagine holding that role, and I just couldn't, because I'd be somebody that immediately, the moment I have to, start doing that process, I think about everyone's relatives and all of those really, it's really important conversations on, man, what about his mom? What about his dad? Did he have kids? I couldn't do that job mentally today.
They would have made you.
Exactly.
They would have made you do it. And the thing is, some of the, Bud, because he was older, he was made a sergeant before he went to war, even though he came in as just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. Because he was older, the young kids kind of would go to him and he would help them. He was a good guy. Go ahead.
Sorry for cutting. Was there any correlation or any type of thoughts in his letters about, being an older guy around some of the younger men? Were there any generational, gaps or any, writings on, man, these guys are wild, or what are they saying,
They were not allowed to talk about other soldiers or where they were. But the other thing is that he was an uneducated man. His letters were pretty basic for the most part. Mm-hmm. And they were the guys were also told, don't tell your family bad things. Don't tell them what they're doing. He never even told his mother or his wife what he did. Because how do you explain that? Now think about it. You're supposed to go to war and take that hill and be a hero, and he's over there picking up bodies. So they very often didn't mention it. And I only saw him mention it once to his brother-in-law.
Well, I mean, my heart breaks for that, though, because they're as much a part of the fight than anybody. And, And they had to show more compassion too and more human-like qualities because you're fighting your enemy and you're trying to get bodies cleared out and you're trying to do your job. And here's a Nazi soldier that's in front of you. And instead of doing what a lot of, I'm sure, grunt soldiers would want to do and, light him up or whatever, you're treating him with dignity to make sure that that soldier is being buried somewhere and being accounted for. And that to me is you have to be a certain human to be able to really do those things.
Well, I think to me, it's probably the most difficult job in the military.
100%.
And where do we go today when we honor people that fought in World War II, World War I? They've always been these people.
Yeah.
We go to the cemeteries that they built. Yeah. And you've been to them. I've been to them. They are graceful and beautiful and peaceful. Where we had killing fields are now beautiful places of remembrance that they built.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that aspect of it.
Nobody does. Every time I say it, they go, I never thought about where the bodies went. Well, today, of course, we still have, it's called mortuary affairs today. Since Vietnam, they've called it mortuary affairs. But we do not bury them on foreign soil anymore. We fly them home. But we didn't have that ability in World War II. There were also so many people dying so quickly that they buried them there. Now, some people got their family members back. They had a choice. But the military said, sign this paper and we're leaving them wherever they are. So we were hoping to bring Bud home. He's buried in Epinal, France, buried by the men he worked with. And but the military owns him now, so we will probably never get to do that.
Well, and that's a whole nother aspect that I've never even thought of, too, is, I'm sure there's so many millions of Americans that want their loved one back home with them rather than over on foreign soil. And that's
families signed those papers. And
did they?
Look. Oh, yeah. Okay. What they'd say is your family member died. They've been buried here because we're in the middle of a war. They couldn't, we didn't have the capacity to ship all these bodies home at that point. We were in the middle of a war for 4 years.
Right.
So today we can put them on a plane and they'll be back here in your home in 24 hours. But it wasn't like that then. So they told the families at the end of the war, they said, here, we can leave them where they are in these cemeteries we built. If you'd like them to come home, fine. But if not, we'll give you a paycheck. Here's some money. And many families took the money.
Oh, I didn't.
Now, I'm not criticizing.
No, yeah, totally.
That was the case.
But I'm learning though. I always love chatting with you. Even last year I was learning stuff. And it's funny. Someone texts me. They go, CJ, why do you always seem excited whenever you kind of you don't know where to go with something. I go, hell, I'm learning with everybody else too. And that's what life's about, is to learn about those things. And really, it helps me understand better about your book. And now, as you're writing this, did you have any conversations with your friend on some of the discoveries you found? What was that like, from start to finish? I got to hear that story.
Regina, who I call Reg, grew up in the military. Her dad fought in 3 wars. And she's lived by Fort Benning her whole life, or a lot of her life. So she's very military oriented, and she's helped me immensely with research and to tell Bud's story. And she also, the family had many oral histories about Bud, and she relayed them to me. For example, that he married this woman like a couple weeks before he went to war. Nobody knew who she was, and she was very mysterious, and she remains very mysterious. Lorraine was an odd woman. Have you ever heard of the allotment Annies? Okay, so allotment Annies are women who married multiple soldiers at the same time to get a paycheck. Back in those days, they got $20 a week, which today is like $360 a week. And if the soldier or sailor airman died, they got a $10,000 paycheck.
Right.
That's like $175,000 today. So there were women who married multiple soldiers or sailors. And in fact, the military knew all about this. They had movie reels that they showed the soldiers saying, please do not marry someone you don't know. Please, because these guys are naive. They're 17, 18-year-old kids that came off farms. And they were very easily manipulated. And one woman was married to 6 sailors at the same time.
Were they on the same boat?
No. The only reason they found out was because these 2 sailors are next to each other in a bar in Australia, and they're going, hey, here's my wife. Here's a picture. And the other guy goes, here's my wife. Wait a minute. It's this woman. And they caught her, and she was one of the few women ever prosecuted for it. She was put in prison for a little bit. But the idea is, now I know that sounds horrible that women would do that, but women had never worked much outside of the home before. They suddenly could be Rosie the Riveter or work for the war effort, but they knew when the men came home, they were back to nothing.
Yeah.
So, and there weren't any high-paying jobs or good-paying jobs for women. So I can sort of understand how a desperate woman might have done this, but Bud's wife was so cruel. And the letters, when the family told me stories about her, because I have no letters from her, the letters in the book I fabricated because I understood what had happened. And I don't want to give too much of it away. But, bottom line is she broke his heart. In the meantime, there were quiet family whispers that he had fallen in love with another woman while he was at war.
Oh.
So, and he was Catholic. He was married. He was very conflicted about these things, and so I don't have all the facts. Again, this is inspired by a true story, but along with the horrors of war, there's a love story in there.
Well, I'm telling you, and I'm excited to get my hands on a copy of this. I mean, whenever you sent me the first email, I went, oh, man, we got to talk about it. And now, here we are, less than a month away from when it hits the online shelves. Is it going to be in bookstores? Where can we find a copy?
You can buy it anywhere. It's on all of the online book sales. You can go to Barnes & Noble. It might not be it wouldn't be on the shelf, but they would get it for you.
Oh, absolutely.
If people go to my website, which is Ann Montgomery writer.com. There's all links to it everywhere.
And we'll make sure to link everything in a write-up that we do, Ann, because this is what a great story. Just the story on writing the book itself is amazing. And then the story you're telling is just really fascinating, and something that really does need to be given more of a look into is the soldiers, just like Bud, that are going through and being, what's the actual term? What were they called?
Graves registration.
Grave registration. Oh, to me, so many around here, Ann, are going to love learning about that, because I have no idea until you started talking really about their role, what that was.
I think that by nature, we shut that part off.
Yep.
We go, oh, great, cool battle, air battle, planes fall down. But we don't go, hey, where are the pilots that went down?
Yeah.
Where are the guys in the ships? I interviewed a number of World War II veterans when I was a print reporter for a Memorial Day story. My editor said, go out and do a Memorial Day story. Where are all the parties? Where are all the sports? I said, that's not what Memorial Day is.
No.
Memorial Day is about remembering those who didn't come home. And he looked at me, goes, write whatever you want. So I went to the local VFW and I interviewed some men who'd been in World War II. And I mentioned that because one of them, I asked, what do you remember? What do you remember about men who didn't come home? And he said, I was in a helicopter and they were lowering me down into the water to get some bodies, but there were sharks everywhere and they were eating the bodies. And he said, they pulled me back up and would not allow me to go down there. That whole idea isn't what bothered him. It bothered him that they didn't know if it was one or two bodies, and that men could never be declared dead because he couldn't retrieve them.
Oh, man.
So that's, he wanted to do his job, but they wouldn't let him. He couldn't get down there. And so no one ever got any peace of mind about what had happened to their loved one or loved ones. I think it's natural for us to turn away from that part. The other problem with this, though, is not just us wanting to ignore the dead. It's us ignoring the mental health situations of our military.
100%.
Today, every news show, every day is talking about dealing with your mental health and talk about it, and we accept it, but not in the military.
Yeah.
If you have issues, and there are a lot of them that do, they are afraid to mention it, that it will ruin their careers. And guess what? They're right.
Yep.
It should not be like this now. I watched Bud disintegrate through his letters. I watched it. Now, I know how many men came home with deep, invisible wounds that no one wanted to hear about. Yeah, I mean, you probably remember the time in Patton's movie where he slapped the guy who was in the hospital bed suffering from shell shock.
Mm-hmm.
Slapped him and called him a yellow-bellied coward because his brain went. Today we know better, but the military doesn't want to talk about that. It's considered weakness. And in the military, all we see is big, strong, tough people. And they've got to fix it, because every day in this country, 20 veterans/service people are committing suicide. And we need to do better. The military needs to do better to figure out a way to help these people.
100%, Ann. And I can't speak highly enough on that. I used to do a veteran show when I was on the AM dial over in St. Louis, and all it was about how the VA is getting better. But one thing they never tackled was mental health in these veterans and these folks that are going into the military, and maybe some on-hand counseling services and different tools that those soldiers can lead and learn as they're going through their tenure. And then, of course, the resources afterwards. It's just not there. It's just not.
And the military has proven it can tackle a problem.
Yep.
I mean, I think leading up to World War I, 80% of the wounded died. And they died, infection, all kinds of things. Today, 80% live.
Right.
That are severely wounded. They live because we figured out how to set up MASH units. We figured out how to get people home and get people well and do their surgeries. So bottom line is they need to tackle this. They really do.
They 100%, and so many of us in this area will be echoing those thoughts going forward. And hopefully more of a national conversation can be had on that very important topic too. Ann Montgomery, Your Forgotten Sons comes out what day?
June 6th.
That's okay.
The 80th anniversary of D-Day.
100%. And we'll link it on RiverBender.com on the on-demand interview and on our write-up that we're going to do on this. So that way you guys can just click on the link and you're good to go. And thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you for having me, CJ. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Before we take a quick break, and this was not on purpose, one of our biggest supporters now of the show is Centerstone, which Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages. And folks, if you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible, and it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment, but their clinicians use evidence-based treatment programs in all of their practices. So it means, Ann, that they're getting something that's developed for them, not one of those tried for 10 years and maybe it worked for some, maybe it didn't work. This is developed for you at home that are going through this journey. There's so many unknowns on that road to recovery, but one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be a constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. You can go to recoverwithus.org, that's recoverwithus.org, or call 1-877-HOPE-123 to learn more today. Ann Montgomery, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, CJ. That was perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break here in our daily show. We'll roll right around the corner, right after.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Good morning, 10:01. Welcome back. Thursday morning, hitting you right in the nose. It hit me with a sucker punch this morning. Top of the hour news before we talk to Quig Sports Emporium here in just a few short seconds. We're going to be talking to Quig Sports Emporium, just so you all know, and then we're also going to be talking to Alton Little Theater today at 10:30, so in about a half hour, because we had to move some stuff around here. So top of the hour news at 10:02. Here's what you need to know. We'll take you to Bethalto first. Drew Abernathy, an 18-year-old 2024 graduate of Civic Memorial High School, tragically lost his life in a single-vehicle accident on June the 2nd at the intersection of East Airline Drive and Bucha Road. Friends and family gathered at the crash site to honor the victim. Drew, a Bethalto resident, worked at Castelli's Moonlight and was a member of Connect Church, known for his vibrant personality and his athleticism in football, track, and baseball. He deeply loved his family and friends. Visitation is scheduled for June the 9th, with services on June 10th at Cornerstone Church, followed by burial at Roselawn Memory Gardens. RiverBender.com extends their condolences to the family and loved ones. Also in the news today, out of the Madison County Historical Society, their speaker series in June will take place on the 9th at 2 p.m. at Main Street Community Center in Edwardsville. Historian Stacy Lynn will present Loving Lincoln, Stories About Women and Abraham Lincoln. Lynn, who has written extensively on Lincoln and women's history, will share stories about her forthcoming book, scheduled for publication in January 2025. The book explores the women in Lincoln's life and Lynn's personal experiences during editing Lincoln's papers. The event is free and open to the public, followed by a discussion session. Also in the news, at OSF St. Anthony's, they have unveiled their new image-guided therapy system, the Azurion 7 from Philips. It's enhancing its ability to perform high-risk procedures with state-of-the-art equipment and 3D imaging. Kelly Nielsen, the director of critical care services, highlighted that this upgrade includes a top-tier cath lab table and other equipment, bringing advanced cardiac care closer to the Riverbend community. Over the past year, the center operated from a mobile unit during the installation and staff training. With this new training, St. Anthony's now matches the equipment standards of major St. Louis hospitals, and it allows patients to receive superior care right here locally. One final bit of news for you this morning. Ameren, Illinois reported a power outage affecting approximately 1,500 customers in Brighton yesterday, June the 5th. The outage began at 3:53 p.m. due to a fuse malfunction inside a substation. Brian Bretsch, a public relations spokesperson for the utility company, said in a statement, "We had a fuse malfunction inside a substation that serves Brighton. Approximately 1,500 customers were without power starting at 3:53 p.m. on Wednesday." That was the quote from Bretsch. A crew identified the issue within the substation and contacted dispatch. The crew, along with dispatch, successfully rerouted power from an alternative source, restoring electricity to all affected customers by 5:56 p.m. the same day. Bretsch noted the malfunctioning fuse inside the Brighton substation was replaced later in the evening. Following the replacement, the new fuse and surrounding equipment were tested and returned to service. Customers were rerouted to their normal power source at 7:35 p.m. on Wednesday. 10:05. Let's take a look at your weather forecast today. It's 79 degrees currently. It feels like 83. Today, mostly sunny and breezy with low humidity. And tonight, clear. Temperatures do reach 83 degrees today. They'll drop down to 53 degrees overnight as we head into Friday. On Friday, a high of 85, a low of 64. And on Saturday, a 95% chance of rain, a high of 79, a low of 61. On Sunday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 80, a low of 57. And on Monday, as we start our week on the 10th of June, a high of 75, a low of 58. For time and temperature throughout the day, you can always give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Wayne. He's your local State Farm agent. And while I have you, let me fill you in on Denise Sparks Junk Removal. She's the best. I mean, Denise really goes above and beyond for not only her clients, but just the community in general. You know, throughout the year, Denise does things like free Christmas tree pickups and other community activities to where she's just helping make your life a little bit easier. And, you know, she does that each and every day if you're a client of hers, whether or not you use her for her standard, tried and true staple services like junk removal and hauling. You know how good she is. And if you're using her for her weekly trash service, you know that you're never looking back and going back to the big boy. You know, Denise Sparks is the best at what she does. She took on a huge challenge last year, and she has succeeded. It's because of customer care, customer service, and customer appreciation. You can go visit sparksjunkremoval.net to learn more about Denise and her team today. And you can click on the Services tab, and you can click on Weekly Trash Service, fill out the form, and the Queen of Junk, now the Queen of Junk and Trash, is taking care of you too. Make sure you tell them that CJ sent you over their way. That's sparksjunkremoval.net. You know, before we take a quick break, always nice to, you know, look at downtown Alton. I tried to hit it right away. It didn't happen. Let's take a look at Skycam. We'll come back. Daily Show hits you next with Quick Sports Emporium right after this.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. 10:12. Welcome back. Daily show on a Thursday. Quick Sports Emporium is opening Saturday, and Morgan, Jason in the studio. Are we feeling okay about this? Are we excited?
Yeah, real excited.
How's everything going this morning?
Good. How are you doing today?
Rolling with every punch that's getting thrown at us. Today's an interesting morning. A lot of craziness happening today, but this is really cool. So, Quick Sports Emporium, a couple of months ago, I think in December, I saw the Facebook page the first time and thought, how cool is this? And now here we are. We're getting ready to cut the ribbon on Saturday, and during the break, we heard short road, but little bumps in the road. But now we're here.
Yeah.
We're definitely here.
Yeah.
And are you guys feeling pretty confident about it heading into Saturday?
Oh yeah. We did probably 2 full U-Hauls full of sports equipment into the store within the last 24 hours. It was you can call it a late night or early morning, however, but we were there till probably 2 in the morning. Stocking the store because we finally were able to get our stuff into the store. So being able to get it in and price it and place it, and we've got probably about 90% of it put together. So
and no one realizes how much work that is to put into inventory and getting all that going, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, how did this idea come about? Before we go into the deep dive, what was the thought that said, you know what, let's open something like this?
Well, it started way back when I was a kid. I was a big sports guy, love sports. Then my cousin started playing ice hockey for the school. I wanted to play ice hockey for the school, but unfortunately couldn't afford to play ice hockey. Ice hockey's super expensive.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for a store that's local and very similar to kind of what I'm doing, if it wasn't for them, I would not have gotten the equipment that I needed to play at a super low price compared to like the new stuff. So I was able to play hockey very early on because of a store like I'm putting together. And then once I got the opportunity to do so and the drive to do so, we kind of wanted to do the same thing, you know, kind of help kids who can't play sports because of money.
Yeah.
You know, if we can get some kids into ice skates or, you know, a tennis racket in their hand that they might not be able to afford, then we got kids playing sports that, you know, might not have played sports in the past.
Well, 100%, because everyone should have every opportunity to do something and try it out, and because it helps so many things. And was Wood River always the location, always the thought process?
Yeah, I was born and raised in the East Alton, Wood River
right
area.
On.
You know, I graduated from Wood River. She graduated from Wood River. My mom graduated from Wood River. So it's one of those things where I also coached a lot in Wood River, and I've seen firsthand where, you know, showing up to practice in cleats turned into having to show up to practice in cleats because I would give my cleats to one of my players because they didn't have cleats to practice in. So, you know, it's a good community to do it in because there's a lot of sports loving families in Wood River, you know, and surrounding areas. So definitely Wood River's always been kind of the hub for it.
Absolutely. And now, as we're gearing up for Saturday, what are all the shaboozis planned? We got a ribbon cutting. We got to have a ribbon cutting. What time?
Yeah, 2 o'clock, starts at 2. What else we got going on?
Oh, we have the Gateway Grizzlies Fair coming.
Oh, that's cool.
We have a ton of giveaways.
What are we? I'm nosy. What are we giving away?
Oh my gosh, everything from baskets to oil changes.
Oh God!
Applebee's
Whoa!
gift
Hold
cards.
on here. No, stop. I thought you were gonna say we're giving away like ball gloves and stuff. No, okay, sorry. Don't let me stop you. Floor is yours.
Prizes. The Gateway Grizzlies are going to be giving out 8 sets of 4 tickets every 15 minutes while they're there. We're going to have hot dogs and chips and soda, and it's just the whole thing. It's just letting everybody know we're here.
That's really cool, and getting out and just really to diversify it a little bit and having some fun prizes. I mean, that's all. Oil changes are always a win right now.
We have anything that if people will donate to it, we have a lot of people helping. A lot of people want to help.
Does that feel? That's got to feel good to have people reaching out that are, you know, maybe already established and that are really trying to get you guys off to a good start.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, we were talking last night. You know, the word community keeps coming around because it's not, you know, the things, all the communities that I am in. I play roller hockey, the softball community, ice hockey, coaching community. If it wasn't for all these people that are in these communities, I wouldn't have gotten the equipment that I've needed to have the inventory to start out and so forth. And it's kind of good to see everybody come together to help not only me, but also the cause, the idea of Quigs.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a sports store, so to speak.
100%. Well, the thing is too, you aren't, you know, it'd be one thing too if, you know, you're a corporation coming in and all that, but you have a true meaning behind this, and that's what I think's great, because I have nephews and nieces that love playing hockey already. They're out at East Alton skating around and having fun, but learning about the cost to play a sport like that and really add baseball into it if your kid wants to be a catcher. Whew.
You're probably talking $1,000 a year
100%
in equipment if your kid's growing out of certain things all the time, bat sizes, gloves, skate sizes, you know. So if we can minimize a lot of that cost, you know, we will also be buying and doing consignment on items as well,
Really
trading, you know. So if those kids buy the skates, you know, and they wear them for 6 months, just bring them back and I'll buy them back from you. Then we'll refurbish them and then put them back out on the ice for somebody else to do.
That's cool.
So it's kind of
that's really cool.
We also have a we call it a 5-pair limit, where if we get enough of one thing that's in the same size, we're going to donate it back to, you know, whoever may need it. If we're going to sponsor a kid each month to do so, something like that kind of help keep our inventory down, but it also gives back to certain families and certain needs that are needed in the community for, you know, opportunities for kids to play sports.
100%. And now, when we're going in there, take us through what the store is going to look like. The breakdown for maybe some folks that are curious the first time they come in. What can they expect? Is it going to be a lot of everything?
A lot of everything. We had, like like I said, 2 U-Haul fulls full of equipment.
It's wall to wall.
Wall to wall?
Yeah. It's almost to the point where we might have to give up certain spaces for more stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we don't even have it all in.
Yeah.
Like we've got we've got pickleball companies that are coming in. We have a cooler that's coming in for an energy drink company that we have, and there's a lot of stuff that we still have yet to place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to think that lots of TVs, lots of sports going on. It's definitely a sports atmosphere.
It's just really cool. Now, where are you guys located in Wood River?
59 East Ferguson.
Oh, you're in the main drag there, yeah.
Yeah, right across from Rachel's, and right down the street from where the burger bar is, and right across from Cleary's.
Man, you guys have a good spot too.
Oh, yeah,
it's great spot. That's a great addition though to that corridor. They need you definitely need some sports equipment or some type of sport store in the area, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
Going forward, do you look to add to any of the services you're doing? Because I always ask this question, but I know sometimes people look at me and go, "Man, we're just trying to get this damn thing open." Totally get it. But is there like a 5-year plan? Anything that you guys have kind of thoughts on?
With how everything is going, we've kind of shifted our 3-year plan to probably an 18-month plan, because we're already we're probably already overfilling our equipment, and that's not even on top of the stuff that I'd be buying and consigning and so on and so forth. So we plan to have a bigger place here within the next 3 years. We do Letterman jackets, we print T-shirts, we do pretty much everything that I would think that a local sports store should be able to do for teams and kids.
It's what it should be.
Yeah.
I'm just excited. Now, getting back to Saturday, what time do the festivities start? 2 p.m. right on the dot.
Yep.
Giveaways, ribbon cutting. You're gonna meet the what's the grizzly bear's name? What's the grizzly? Izzy. That's
Izzy
right. I always get it wrong. Izzy the grizzly in attendance, and oil changes, baskets, and more fun.
Yeah, man.
And do you have a Facebook page?
You can find us on Facebook's Quig Sports Emporium, and then we also have a website, QuigSportsEmporium.com. It's still under construction. There's still we've got roughly 10,000 pieces of equipment in our store. So trying to log and put that on the website and so on. So
hats off to you.
The website's kind of been on the back burner, but it'll get updated. But you can find us on Facebook.
Facebook has a lot of activity.
Yeah.
Really cool. And we'll make sure to link all of that online. And best of luck on Saturday. And when you guys get going, come back in when you have more news to share, too.
Yeah, for sure. We will. Thank you.
10:22, we'll take a quick break. Nourish Revival. Abigail Parker, we'll talk to her right after this.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
But he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose.
Right, you're right. 10:25. Welcome back, Abigail Park in studio. How are we doing?
I'm so thrilled to be here, as always.
I got to be honest here. I'm just going to break the ice. I am very sorry that I double booked. I'm so sorry I double booked you, Abigail. I love talking to you. I love Nourished Revival, and you're always just doing something cool each and every month. And how's everything been this last couple of... When's the last time we talked?
Ooh, it's been, I think, probably 2 months. Probably April, I think, was the last time I was here whenever I started being at Rosewood Chiropractic Clinic.
That's right.
I came in and talked about that.
How has that been over there?
It's been fantastic. It's so nice. Dr. Dykman is fantastic to be able to work with in this capacity and just kind of have that other health professional that we're both just very interested in supporting people the best way we can.
Well, congratulations on that, because it seemed like a really good fit, and it's great to see that you guys are constantly growing, and you're just having a lot of fun doing it, it seems like, too.
Yes, there's, I'm sure, going to be more news to come on that. We're talking about some things coming, so.
Well, and, too, I think it's great because I'm not patronizing, you're a go-getter, too, so when you say something's going to happen, I mean, normally, because in this position I have, everyone's like, oh, coming up soon, you better stay tuned, it's coming, you know, it's a big deal.
Coming,
but every time you tell me, it really does, and it's just great to see. And I was looking too, and you know, I saw that you have a goal setting event coming down the pipeline.
Yes.
Is that
That's one of the things.
Oh, there we go.
Yes. Because it's June, we're halfway through the year, and typically people are thinking about their goals and improving themselves in December, January, and then it's like, where are you at now? Have you thought about those goals? Have you met those goals? And so it's a great time to reassess. And if you didn't reach those goals, you already had some in mind, let's talk about now what is getting in your way from actually reaching those goals. Let's make those real for you. And maybe if you're like, I know that I need to improve myself, but I don't know where to start, well, we're going to talk about that too.
There you go. Well, and this is on June the 22nd from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. And this is at Party on Broadway.
Yes. We did a sourdough class there a couple months ago that was fantastic.
Did you teach it?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Oh, it was great. Everybody loved it. I think when you do something hands-on, you're getting your hands a little dirty. People like that.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. So I'm thrilled to be partnering with them again now for another class.
That's wonderful. And I just think it's great. And so this is really affordable, $10 per person. And now to register, you just text a GOAL to 217-851-7447. Look at you. This is great.
Easy.
I love it. So, you know, take me through this because, you know, I do a 90-day recap. I try to sit down for about an hour and just think about how things have gone. You know, what am I doing? Mentality, how is it? You know, and the problem I'm always running into, Abigail, is that whenever I look back, especially if it's 6 months or 7, or even a year, and I go, well, I've hit all of these goals, and honestly did last year, but I'm still not feeling too good. What does that mean?
So I think that there's that component of feeling like there's always more you can be doing that can get in our way even when we are reaching our goals. Like, okay, I met my goal. Now I still don't feel like I really accomplished it. There's that feeling of feeling like we need to do more, but then when you get to that more point, it's like, are you actually happy?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not necessarily the goal that was the thing for you. There was something else other than this objective. There's
Right.
more mental components to that, which is a lot of what we're going to be talking about.
That's really cool. And how many spots are available for this?
We don't have a cap
Oh,
right
cool.
now. So I think she can hold over 20 people in there.
Mhm.
So we're just going to see how many people are signing
Let's get
up for
20.
this.
I want to see 20 people in there. That'd be fun.
yeah.
Fill it up.
Yeah, I'm really excited to make this interactive and just try to help people on that individual support level talk through things. We're going to have paperwork to go with it that is just very simple. You're going to get to walk through the process where you can actually see it written out, because I think that's another thing that's important with goals is if you're just thinking about it, you don't necessarily actually put in the action that's needed and realize what's going on. So we're going to actually map out your goal and an action plan to get you there.
That's really cool. And I think it's a good opportunity because sometimes you just need to have that other ear, that other voice too, whenever you're talking about these things in goal setting, because you might not be connecting internally with yourself, So that's really cool. And now take me through this virtual health assessment.
Yes. So that is the other thing going on in June. June is such an exciting month. So I do a health assessment with every client that I work with. That's part of our process, is seeing, what symptoms are you actually experiencing that's keeping you from living your best life. Things like, I'm dealing with heartburn, I'm constipated all the time, I'm craving sugar all the time. All of those things are symptoms.
Yeah.
And so what I love to do every June, this is my second time doing it, my second year in business, is take this month, this halfway point again, as an opportunity to assess how you're doing with your health by taking this component of my paid program and offering it for free for people to be able to get an in-depth look at how your health is actually doing.
That's really cool. And now this offer is good until the 29th of June, so you got 23 more days, but who's counting? And what after you take the assessment, what are the next steps?
So the assessment is completed online on your own. It is just a quick questionnaire you go through, and then we schedule a time to go over it together. I'm doing these only on Saturdays in June, and there's only 2 slots available. So there's, I think there's 4 Saturdays left in June. There's only 8 openings total that I'm doing. It's a first come, first serve basis then. And we will meet over Zoom and go through the assessment that you took, going through like what's standing out to me that I'm seeing and connecting that with how you're feeling. And we'll kind of bridge that gap between why you're actually experiencing those things, which I love that it gives people like this aha moment of like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that was going on. I've even heard people tell me when we start going over stuff like this, they're like, oh my goodness, my doctor told me that this was an issue, but I never understood why that's a problem.
Right. And see, I think it's really great in this aspect too, because sometimes it's hard to connect to a medical professional because they're using big words and the way they're speaking is not really a way that we're used to hearing the conversation. When we're talking with you, there's a human component to it. Not saying doctors aren't human, but there's more of a leveled headedness to it, and not really you're feeling like you're getting talked down to. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Medicine and doctors have their place,
right?
But they are trained to look at symptoms and almost treat a person as a symptom. Like, tell me the symptom you're experiencing and we're going to treat that symptom. Versus what I love to do is look at the person. What are you going through? What is actually causing that? So we're not just putting basically a Band-Aid on your symptom. Like, we're gonna look at that. I want to look at what's actually going on in your life that may be contributing to how you're feeling, so we can fix that. Help you feel better.
Well, and that's just a big thing. And Abigail, before I let you go, we've already been talking for 12 minutes.
We do that.
Wow. I'm sorry. I just flew by. I'm like, whoa, we're here. But let's talk about Rosewood Chiropractic Clinic again, because I want to make sure we double-sided this. What are some of the services you provide, just to kind of go over it again for our audience, just in case?
So I am there doing my nutrition program.
Yes.
So it is free consults for anybody. You don't necessarily have to be a patient at Rosewood Chiropractic Clinic. I'm there once a week. It varies on what day. I will be there again tomorrow from about 8 to noon tomorrow. And so anybody can walk in if you are struggling with your nutrition, how you're eating. If you have health questions, you can come in and talk to me, and we will see if it's possible for me to help you, or it's just always nice to have that person to kind of talk to and understand what you're going through.
Absolutely. And then as we're getting back to the main purpose of the conversation today, on the 22nd of June, that goal workshop, how often do you accomplish your goals? Well, we'll find out, and we'll take care of it.
Hope you get there.
And this is 9:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. at Party on Broadway, and it's hosted by Abigail, who's right over there. I'm glad that you're going to be hosting this. And then all you have to do to register is text GOAL, GOAL, to 217-851-7447. Only $10 per person. That's wonderful. And then the free virtual health assessment. How do we find out how to get that information?
We're going to keep it simple. Same way, you can text the word health to 217-851-7447.
That's really cool. And Abigail, always great to talk to you. I'm sorry I kept you waiting a little bit today,
no.
but we got to it.
Good. I appreciate being here nonetheless.
And I just can't wait to have you back on the show again.
Always, yes.
10:35, a little bit of change. Alton Little Theater, Theater Thursday happens next.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center. Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
You're entering the Twilight Zone.
Just a few hours can throw us off.
Oh my God, I don't know what happened today. I got in here at 6:30 and I thought, yeah, you'll get stuff going, and then I blinked my eyes and all of a sudden, Pluto turned over.
And some of my loyal fans will say, why weren't you on the radio at 9:20?
Yes, they will.
Because I actually looked at my phone and go, why does CJ need to get a hold of me?
But thank
thank you for checking your
because
phone.
you know it's never on me. I have no pocket.
I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get hold of Lee. I guess just text and pray.
Yeah, I took it off the charger and went, oh, before I put it in my purse.
What did I tell you my conundrum? I got an issue because I have the sleep focus on my iPhone. And so I wake up to like 8 missed calls from all these people that want to come on the show. I set it for 8:30 because I wanted to get 8 hours of sleep because I wake up at 4:30. Never doing that again. That was a nightmare. How
dare you be healthy?
How dare I take care of myself here? You know. How did last weekend go?
Oh, it was charming and adorable. We still need some people to come be our guests at the Princess Cabaret Concert this weekend, but those little girls are worth everything. First of all, I never knew we had 18 different princess dresses with fur capes and crowns and the whole thing. I mean, we have people who know how to dress in this town, and they know all the words to all the songs, and they also must go to a lot of princess parties because they know you line up afterwards and you get autographs. But the surprise was we had a dance-a-thon. It was like a dance marathon, and I finally had to tell my adult princesses, the little girls are going to win. They're not going to drop. You're going to drop and not be able to do the next show. But we got wonderful pictures, and the parents were just beaming. So I know
That's
that.
wonderful.
And, they did, Chris came in and did the pancakes.
Was it fun?
It was so much fun, and those little girls, they were very competitive. I was like, there's more. Like, because they each wanted 4 pancakes. I mean, now these are under 5, and they wanted 4 pancakes, and they'd stand there with their plates and fight for space. And I was like, girls, there's enough for all.
Well, I just thought it was such a good idea because, especially for someone that has younger children that are maybe 7 and 8, not everyone can afford the vacation this summer.
And actually, a couple of the moms said this is as close to a deep princess as they may ever get. And so they had a lot of fun. And that was just choice. And yes, we don't do very much for the under 8 crowd either, but this was wonderful, and we had great volunteer help, so I was so happy.
Did Becca do a good job?
She did a very good job, and she looked beautiful, and I think she was a little worn out, but she has a few days off.
And rightfully so. Now, this weekend, we have more opportunities to bring the little ones.
Yes, we do. Yes, we have Friday evening and then Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And Friday evening has fewer than Saturday evening, which is really surprising because usually it's our Saturday evening, but I think Becca's whole family from Carbondale is coming up. And she has brand new little nieces and nephews and things like that. And that's what we love, is to have them sit down front to feel part of it, and when the projection changes, they know exactly where they are and what they need to get prepared to sing. I mean, I thought I was pretty good at the words, but wow.
It's amazing. I mean,
amazing.
Seriously, because I have little ones, and you don't really think of the imprint that some of those movies have on.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Well, and I decided to dress up because I had
No way.
Oh, yes. Well, because you know how competitive I am. On Friday night, the gentleman, the nice gentleman, was selling ice cream, and he would very quietly say, "Oh, would you like some ice cream?" I was like, no, that's not how we do this. So I wore a costume, and I said, "Girls, we have strawberry swirl. We have chocolate fudge. We have birthday celebration." And I sold 50 ice creams.
That's how you sell.
In a 15-minute
That's
iteration.
Right. No, at least you taught them what to do next time.
I did, and they were. I mean, they had their order because I had shouted out when they went. And then what killed the guys? Because we had some villains, even though they were nice guys, but because the girls knew me and I had an outfit on, they said, "Can we take our picture with you?" And all the guys were like, "She's not even in the show." I I'm like, but I have my princess hair and my crown and my dress on. I know how to do this gig. I have 6 granddaughters.
That's just incredible. I mean, I just love it because I really thought, even though you and I talked, this wasn't going to be probably the sellout show.
Right. We just needed to break even, which we have.
And it was just the fact that you did it, and added that opportunity to really, and not only spice up, the youngster summer, but really set it off on a good note and create memories.
Absolutely. That they will maybe think, oh, I was in this building and I had fun. And of course, now we do need to sell out Oliver and have everybody come to Oliver because it's a cast of 32. It's cast. It wasn't cast when I was here before. 20 adorable youth and 12 very patient, talented adults. And Kevin's already built half the set. It's hiding behind the scrim for this concert. And it's so cool. It's going to be fun.
So, Oliver, this is a Singing in the Rain scenario, correct? We're going to need to fill it out all the time.
We have 7 performances. We've added that second Saturday matinee because, again, I think older youth, like I think anywhere from 8 on, it's right at 2 hours, I think, but, intermission and things like that. And the new Lionel Bart version, I mean, it has some dark moments, but the kids are very good at knowing, that the villains are going to get theirs in the end. So they don't get too scared. They wait for the bad guys to get carted away.
Did you have a lot of kids try out for this? Did you have to turn any away? Or
we had so many girls, many girls, and I was like, we're trying to get the rights to Frozen. We're trying to get the rights to Frozen.
Please don't hate me.
please. And there are a few girls' roles in the orphanage and in the city, and even there's one girl in Fagin's gang who wants to be, a tough guy and all of that. But some incredible girls. I think almost all the boys got cast. Yeah.
But and we've never really talked about this, and this is just my thought, even though you and I have talked about how much we hate saying no, and we can't. It's not saying no, it's just saying there's not
right now.
But it's a really good lesson for children anyway, and growing up to know, hey, sometimes just things aren't the right timing, but don't stop doing it. Keep trying to come back because we will use you.
But remember, they're of the generation where everybody gets a prize, and it's a little hard. And again, in our ideal world, a 7-year-old with an angelic voice plays Oliver, and we got an 8-year-old, but he's tiny. But we had a lot of 11 and 12-year-olds, and I said, at the Muni, when it's so far away, you would have looked really, really tiny, but here you don't look really, really tiny.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think it's a bummer, but it gives me hope that you're going to have a lot more performers and younger performers ready to grace the stage.
I do. And Randy Manning is going to be our Fagin. You guys know him so well, and he's so much fun.
Way.
And yeah, he was even teasing with the 11 and 12-year-olds, and he was like, they could take me. And I'm like, yeah, they could.
Oh, that was just Sydney.
Oh,
bringing me notes. It was the FCC was coming down to grab me out of the studio.
I was going to say, I didn't beat up on the guy in the parking lot for taking the best parking place. I didn't do anything this morning.
Randy Manning's a great Fagin choice now that I'm thinking about this.
He's been growing the beard, and he hates wigs. So Kevin had to say, oh, you got to wear a big scraggly wig. And I said, oh, I found one. He goes, I bet it's really hot. Yes. Yeah.
Who's playing Oliver?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Is that a tease?
Yes, that'll be a tease. I'll bring the cast list.
That's a tease for the end of the summer, or end of the month.
I think his name is Finn with a double N, yes.
Well, it's really cool because to me, the way that your season's broken out, there's so many different interest levels. Whether you're into, a performance like Oliver, or whether or not you're into, a Rocky Horror, or even, just some serious plays, some comedies. There's literally something for everyone's palate.
Yes. And Nancy is Carrie Sullivan, and she teaches at St. Ambrose. She's the director there, too, of their program.
Oh, wow.
And she's wonderful. I mean, it's a great adult cast, and we made it very clear, besides doing background checks on all the adults, that they really have to love and be patient with the kids. But the kids have all these dance numbers and they sing, and I have to make sure they can climb and be athletic, and they love that part. I mean, they're like, I can jump off here. I said, not now. Wait, just a minute. Let me get some burlap or something on the floor. Yeah.
Well, and I'm just excited too, because I think this is a really great moment for so many kids, because especially with an Oliver, because this is a big deal. People know the show,
and the music is gorgeous, and so many people have not seen the show. I mean, it's a golden age musical, and because those of us who were living there and grew up on that, we all know the songs. We've auditioned with the songs. I auditioned with Who Will Buy for a musical in high school, I got the part. But
good call then.
I called it. But I think introducing them, and I think they will love Fagin because he's funny. They're not really going to be scared of him. I think they will be a little scared of Bill Sykes, but then they love Nancy because she's the mother that, everybody wants, and she's going to save them. And they get to, eat gruel. I'm really making oatmeal, but it'll be fun. And I told them, I feed them. We have a big dinner for them, and they could all put in what they wanted. And the hot dogs and hamburgers were the popular ones.
Was it really?
It was.
This is
One kid wanted a steak.
Well, man, I was about to say, you're onto something with this cast. Keep it like this, and you're saving a lot of money on these dinners,
Well, and it was kind of funny at the concerts because a couple of the adults said, "Oh, is the bar open?" I said, "Well, we're selling ice cream. We don't do any alcohol all summer long because our focus is with the classes and our kids. And even though we make sure 2 adults are always with every child, we never have anybody unsupervised. You just never know. Those little clever kids, they can look around. So I'm like, no alcohol in the building.
It's great for parents to know too that you're background checking these performers too, because that's a big deal. And I never really talk about this, but pro wrestling has a really bad dark side to things, and I would not go anywhere that I didn't know who these people were, because there's some bad out there too.
Well, we've been doing this for 4 years now, but I knew that these people wouldn't know that. I mean, people who come all the time and are in the shows know, and we have a brand new agency that gets it pretty quick. So even before we start, I can see if there's anything at all. And Kevin's always had an open door policy. More moms than ever before said, "Thank you. I will be here. I won't make noise. It's cool. I'll read, but thank you for allowing me." I said, I've heard of a few directors who don't want the parents, and I'm like, not in this day and age. I want eyes. If they have a problem, if they have a question, let's deal with it. Now, and Kevin knows because he's a great big guy, and if they don't know him, they don't know he's a teddy bear.
Big old teddy bear. I was getting ready.
But Becca's there. I'm there. Mary Mahoney is our music director. Arsenio Gaines is the choreographer, and he's just, this giant of a funny guy. But he absolutely adores kids, and he says he works as a massage therapist too, and he says, all the adults, even though it's for the adults, everybody who works there has to have a background check.
100%. Well, and you know what's funny? I think I've had more background checks than anyone else lately. I could get one once a year for Alton, once a year for the soccer, and once a year. But it's you need to do it. And
absolutely.
And it just shows
it's the times we live in.
But it shows that Alton Little Theater's committed to safety too, and that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Oh, I never want any kid scared, hurt. Challenge in any way. No, the good memories. I want them to have the best memories of being there.
100%. And while we have you guys, season tickets are on sale until August 31st. Is that correct?
Well, yes. And actually, in September, this is a little secret. If they come to the September show, then they take that price. We will still let them purchase the ticket minus what they've paid to come in full price, which would be $22 for Making God Laugh. So,
That's gonna be a
but
good one.
yeah, I really hope more people will take advantage. We had tremendous sales for all individual shows. A lot of things, not as many season tickets.
That surprises me because you're saving a lot.
At 70%, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And even, it's always they're getting one whole show free. Plus they got a $5 coupon to use at any of the extra. And we always say, if you know you're going to Florida, if you never come out in February because of weather, give the ticket to the mailman. Give it to somebody else.
Well, and that helps you guys too, even more so because you're giving it to somebody who might not even give it to someone who's never gone and then amaze them. That's what my thought is.
We had so many new people for Singing in the Rain, and
that's wonderful.
They did say, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to buy a season ticket." So we did get some new season ticket holders, but a lot of people have moved and even moved to assisted living places in St. Louis and things. I get, mailing back, and I talk to people and get kind notes, but I could sell some more tickets.
You know what I think would be a goal?
Yes.
For us, I think if we can get a full theater of season ticket goers, I think that would be a good start.
Well, I've been working with Alton Main Street and a lot of the groups, CJ, and of the entire region, not just Alton and Godfrey, like that 250,000, it takes just 1% to support nonprofits and arts, and none of us are there. We're all between 5.5 and 0.7%. We can't get to 1%. It takes 10% to routinely go to every business for the business to thrive.
Yeah.
And I applaud new business owners because I know they may not make a profit for 3 years. And it's so hard to stay in business. And people don't think about that. I mean, I'm guilty too. I've ordered things on Amazon when I couldn't find it. But I try and take the time. I go to Alton Exchange. I go to all the resale shops. I'm shopping everywhere I possibly can. And I get so excited when there's a new business. Because if I can buy something locally, I'm going to do it and pour the money back in the theater. But I just want people, because people will say, "Oh, yeah, I came to a show here years ago and I had a really good time." And I was like, "Well, how come you haven't come back?" And they're like, "Well, I just, I got busy." And I get it. But nothing will stay here if it isn't supported. And people, I guess, think we get state or federal funding. We do not. And so that 1%, 2,500 people support every single arts organization, the symphony, everything in town. And if they don't do it, we look at the losses. Greater Alton Concert Association. I mean, that was wonderful. They brought in terrific shows. They don't exist.
Well, and it's one of those things too where we're getting to a point in society where you're starting to see the small guy get out of the way for the big guy, and that scares me a little bit because
particularly since we live in a small town.
Yeah, and what are we going to do? Because and time again, it seems to be the same people that are constantly supporting.
They
and
are.
Thank you guys for doing that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We need more people, and hey, I get it. The grocery shelves are getting more expensive. Everything's more expensive. But if you do have an opportunity to go support, you can now. If you're a little bit more affluent, let me fill you in on some opportunities too. You can be a big supporter of Alton Little Theater.
Yes.
By being an archangel.
An archangel, yes.
I love that. That's a great sponsorship too.
That's been there from the very
Has
very
it really
beginning.
Been? Okay.
Yes. Because our very first show, I think I told this story once, we actually lost $300, which was a lot of money in 1933, our very first production. And Dorothy Colonius covered it, but Diana and other directors said, "You know what? We need some angels in case we go a little bit in the hole," and that's how they came up with it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So let me fill you in, and 501c3.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Get that tax deduction in because you can support Alton Little Theater for $1,000, $500, $250.
$100, or if you're like me and just an individual, maybe you don't have a lot of money. I'm not a millionaire, even though I'm on TV. It doesn't equate. You can donate $99, and you know, that does go a long way.
Oh, it absolutely does. And even the new businesses, we work out a deal where they can have a little cocktail party, wine and cheese before, or bring a group of people. Fortunately, we have a law firm that does that, and a couple of business sponsors. We have a new one this year, and I love that. And they get this beautiful ad full color in our program, and it's nice.
Oh, this isn't the
That isn't the program, no.
I'm having a brain dead moment here.
The 30-page program. I know you've seen it. You've seen your name in print. You probably have one. You gave one to your mother or something.
Well, and really, I just wanted to fill you guys in on that, because we don't really talk about the donation side of things and the monetary side. We talk about the shows. This weekend is the Princesses and Princes and Not Too Naughty Villans Cabaret Concert, and if I see that mouse, I'm going to have some words for him, because that was just something.
Yeah, something we didn't need.
No, and
but they're wonderful,
yes.
And they came up with alternative costumes, and the songs are all covered by ASCAP, so we're safe.
Thank goodness. And
Yes.
now, a question for you: pancake breakfast, is that done?
Oh yeah, it was
okay.
just
So
twice.
this is just the.
It was twice next.
So,
but ice cream, I went out and bought more ice cream. And that, I mean, you know, again, I go to Schnucks, I go to Walmart, I go locally. Somebody's out there buying those little ice cream cups, because I got the last 8 of the strawberry swirl. I'm out there everywhere going, what's going on? What's going
those
on?
ice cream cups have been around for at least 150 years. That has to be the long-standing product of the grocery store.
It must. And somebody's doing something with them, because that was a little hard.
So while we have you for right now, once again, altonlittletheater.org, and you can find out ways that you can support, but also get tickets this weekend if you have nothing to do. Did you see Saturday? They went from no rain for a week to now it's going to downpour Saturday all day.
And
97%
you
chance.
can come and have lemonade and ice cream and sing and dance and get your picture taken. And that was just so much fun. Watching these little girls who I think have their picture taken. I mean, they knew how to pose.
They knew the etiquette. They knew the etiquette.
And they were... Some of them did have their autograph books. I love that.
That's
and
so
I was like, you're a professional.
They were ready to go. They were veterans. They were veteran princess goers, you know. And coming up the 91st season, you got Oliver that starts in just a few short weeks, actually, August the 2nd through the 11th, the extra entertainment entertainment concert and shows. And then Rocky Horror is a part of the extra entertainment series too.
We're having auditions. July 27th is his first one, yes.
July 27th for Rocky Horror Picture Show
And if you
auditions.
love it, I want you there in sort of a costume or singing one of those songs.
Absolutely.
Because we want the best cast.
We got to have some passionate folks in this one.
Oh, absolutely.
And then also the Best of the Best Broadway concert, and the youth acting classes wrap up, but the youth acting classes have already been sold out and then some in the extra. Now, to the main lineup, is that what we call this? Regular?
Main stage.
Main stage. Dang it.
But don't forget, we're going to do 2 other concerts, one in the fall, one in the spring. I haven't signed the contracts. And then we have the studio series, and someone else is going to be in that.
I am going to be in it. Making God Laugh, A Christmas Carol, The X's, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, Women of a Certain Age. Then, as Lee said, the actor studio series, Front Porch.
Yes.
Front Porch and Lincoln's Widow, which I believe I will be in. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have fun.
And all of the auditions are now on the website. My call got them all on through January.
Perfect.
So, because I kind of wait until November, December, and then I do the spring, because, you know, we have to look at when is Easter, when's Mother's Day,
That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And one last thing before we go upstairs here. I forgot to tell. Did I tell you the horror that I have of saying Rocky Horror during your live stream? Because I'm pretty sure that I have been censored 4 or 5 times now by Facebook because they're not hearing the second R. You know.
Oh, yeah.
There's always a joke in radio that you have to really extend the OR in that one.
Absolutely. No, we over-enunciate.
On purpose. Purpose. And you can get tickets to the Princesses and Princess and Not Too Naughty Villans Cabaret Concert for the 8th and the 9th at 2 p.m. And then the 7th is at 7:30 tomorrow night on a Friday.
Tomorrow night, yes.
And then get ready for Oliver. We'll see you there. Lee Cox, anything else?
No, you've mastered that title, and you'll be so glad after this week, and you'll be, I never have to say that again.
You're right. Out of time. I'll see you as we wrap up the week that was tomorrow. More of our daily show hits you. Then on that note, just try your best to stay out of jail.